Oh, hey YouTube. Didn't see you there. Mind if I join you? TikTok most likely is getting banned. And even if it doesn't, I still want to make YouTube videos. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun time. I'm long-winded. I want to vlog. It's my first YouTube video. I've never done this before. As a youth who grew up in the digital age, I definitely had dreams of becoming a YouTuber in middle school and just never fulfilled those dreams. So this is me healing my inner child and making a YouTube video. It is just me and my phone camera against the world. Anyways, for my first video, I thought it would be fun to share the 2025 new releases that I am greatly looking forward to reading this year. These are all books by authors that I have read in the past and have absolutely loved and can't wait to read more from. The first on my list I think is actually released by the time that I will be posting this, but it is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. It releases January 14th. I love Alice Feeney. I have read most of her works. I think the only one I haven't read is Good Bad Girl, but that's on my list. Like, Sometimes I Lie, Rock, Paper, Scissors, I Know Who You Are. That one was crazy. I don't know if you've ever read that one, but insane plot. I was kind of ill. Beautiful Ugly, I have no idea what it's about. I like to go into my thrillers kind of blind because then, I don't know, it's more thrilling that way for me. So I have no idea what it's about, but I know that it's by Alice Feeney, and that's why I want to read it. The second book on my list is one that releases January 21st, and that is Han Kang's We Do Not Part. I read The Vegetarian back in 2022 when I was first getting back into reading, and that solidified my love for translated works, especially like literary fiction translated works. Like, again, I don't really know what it's about. I go into a lot of my books blind because I just go off vibes. The third book on this list is one that releases February 4th, and that is A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a new entry for me. I read my first Kate Alice Marshall book last month with What Lies in the Woods, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked that book. From thrillers, I do not expect the most like fantastic, blow me out of the water writing, but I was pleasantly surprised by Kate Alice Marshall's writing because it was like just had a little more oomph. Like, it wasn't like Frida McFadden where it's just popcorn thriller. Like, there was more like a little bit more flowery language, I guess. But I don't know. I really vibed with it. I will be reading her next one. Number 4 on the list is purely for nostalgic factor because I am just like every other girl and read Hunger Games in middle school and absolutely internalized my love for that trilogy. And so, of course, it's Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. And the only thing I know about it is that it's Haymitch's backstory. And while we're on the subject of Haymitch and his backstory, I just want to propose Fred Heschinger as my fan casting. I think he's the perfect young Haymitch, and that's all that I will say on this. Number 5 on my list is another thriller. It is going to release March 25th, and that is This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. I actually have the ARC of this book, and I've started it. It's pretty good. I'm about like halfway through, but I really enjoy Ashley Winstead's writing. I read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, I think that's what it's called, and then The Last Housewife. The Last Housewife, that's crazy. That one is crazy. But I do generally like Ashley Winstead's writing. And this one is really interesting because it's like a book. So it's like the narrator is writing a book about her experiences. And so it has like little footnote features, and that's kind of fun. Number 6 on my list is probably one of the ones that I am most excited for, just because this author had written one of my favorite books from last year, and that is Ling Ling Huang. Ling Ling Huang's Immaculate Conception releases May 13th, and if you didn't read Natural Beauty, I don't know what you're doing. You need to go read that because my jaw was on the floor while I was at work. I was listening to the audiobook and I was like, it was crazy, and I thought about it for weeks after finishing it. Number 7 is one that I am very personally excited for and haven't seen a lot of people talking about, and it is Death in the Cards by Mia P. Manansala. This one also releases May 13th, and if you don't know who Mia P. Manansala is, she is the author of the Arsenic and Adobo books, aka the Tita Rosie Kitchen Mystery Series. The Tita Rosie Kitchen Mystery Series, I think, is an adult cozy mystery series, but Death in the Cards is actually, I believe, YA. I don't know much about it except that Filipino protagonist, if I had to guess, and it has to do with like tarot cards and it might be a little mystery too. I don't know. I am excited for it. The eighth book on my list is actually one that I am really excited for, but only found out recently, so I don't know really anything about it. But it is Moderation by Elaine Castillo, and it releases July 3rd. If you don't know who Elaine Castillo is, she is the author of America Is Not the Heart, which was my favorite book of 2024 that I read. I loved that book. The characterization, it's a literary fiction book that is character driven, and I loved it. It was just, I wasn't expecting it to be like my favorite book, and then it ended up being my absolute favorite book. Like, I love that book. I'm excited to see what Elaine Castillo does next. And then number 9 on my list is The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This releases July 15th. I have read Mexican Gothic and Silver Nitrate, and I loved Mexican Gothic and Silver Nitrate I liked. I think the thing about Silvia Moreno Garcia's works for me is that like the first half is pretty slow paced in my opinion, and then the second half is where like all the action happens, and then it gets really good after that. So I'm curious what The Bewitching will be like. If it is kind of like slow in the beginning, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm excited to see. And my last book on this list for 2025 releases, as I said earlier, I'm just like every other girl, so I bet you could guess. I'll give you a second. What's your guess? If you said Calabasas by R.F. Kuang, you're absolutely right. I need to read Babel still, but I'm not emotionally prepared. I know what it's going to do to me. And so, but I am excited for Calabasas. The premise seems really interesting from what I know about it. I've been rewatching Supernatural lately, and so I am in the hellscape. I am in the hellscape, okay? Everyone and their mother is excited for Calabasas. And so come August, I will be getting my hands on it. I don't care if I'm on a no buy. I will save a gift card to buy Calabasas. I don't care. I'm buying that book. Anyways, those were all the 2025 releases that I am looking forward to from authors that I have read before. There are definitely books that I've seen on NetGalley that have caught my attention, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the authors, so I have like no expectations. But these ones, I got some expectations for. So thank you for coming to my yap session. This was my first YouTube video. I feel somehow more comfortable talking to the void of YouTube than I do talking on TikTok. But I love TikTok, and I will miss her if she's gone. I don't know how to close a video, and I never have, so deuces.